Why you should be scared of China being in so much debt. Some people believe that China's lending methods to developing nations leave those nations subject to pressure from Beijing since they are unable to meet their debt obligations. China, however, disputes this and accuses Westerners of spreading the story to smear China's reputation. No nation has ever experienced that dreaded debt trap as a result of borrowing from China, the report claims. How much do we know about the financial situation in China? Hello everyone, and welcome to the channel. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and press the bell icon to never miss an update. Having said that, let's get into the video. When it comes to individual countries, China is one of the biggest borrowers. Over the past decade, it has tripled the size of its loans to developing and middle-income nations, which are expected to total $170 billion, £125 billion by 2020. Half of China's financing to developing nations goes unreported in official debt data. According to research by Aid Data, an international development organization at William and Mary University in the United States. To evade public disclosure, money is often channeled through state-owned corporations and banks, joint ventures, or private entities. Aid Data says 40 low- and middle-income nations owe Chinese leaders over 10% of their GDP. China owns 20% of Djibouti, Laos, Zambia, and Kyrgyzstan's GDP. Under President Xi Jinping's Belt and Road Initiative, much of China's debt is for roads, trains, ports, mining, and energy. Richard Moore, head of British intelligence, said China employed debt traps. China has disputed accusations that it lends money to other countries and seizes assets when they default. Sri Lanka built a large project in Hambantota with China's help years ago. The $1 billion Chinese-funded and contracted project became unsustainable, putting Sri Lanka in debt. In 2017, Sri Lanka leased the port to China merchants for investment. Chatham House says the port project was controlled by local politics, and China never gained formal ownership, casting doubt on the debt trap concept. China has not gained a big military advantage from the port, and it is not Sri Lanka's top creditor, according to the research. Concerns remain that China could utilize its expanding economic presence in Sri Lanka to advance its political goals in the region, despite minimal evidence that this engagement has expanded over the previous decade. China's loans could affect vital assets, causing friction in the region where they were initially extended and beyond. Aid Data and other researchers investigated hundreds of loan agreements and found no instances of Chinese state-owned lenders seizing a big asset for loan default. Where does China stand in terms of lending? Most Chinese contracts have non-disclosure clauses that ban borrowers from discussing loan conditions. The report says foreign loan deals are usually secret. Foreign commercial loans include extensive confidentiality provisions, notes Queen Mary, University of London's Lee Jones. Much of China's development money is commercial. As members of the Paris Club, most industrialized nations share lending information. Despite China's decision to remain outside of this group, World Bank data shows a large increase in China's reported lending. Do Chinese loans require more effort to repay? Compared to governments in the West, China's lending rates are often higher. These loans are priced close to the commercial market around 4% and are roughly 4 times as expensive as a loan from the World Bank or a single country like France or Germany. In addition, the average length of time a Chinese loan borrower has to pay it back is around 10 years, while the average length of time a concessionary loan from a Western bank takes to be repaid is around 28. Most Chinese state-owned banks also stipulate that their borrowers keep a certain amount of money in a foreign bank account from which they can withdraw funds as needed. According to Aid Data Executive Director Brad Parks, China can drain monies from the account without going to court if a borrower defaults. It's unusual for a loan to be provided by a Western lender to take this track. To mitigate the effects of pandemic on poorer countries, the G20 nations, those with the largest and fastest growing economies, have launched a program to provide debt relief. China said it has paid the biggest amount of debt payback of any participating country by joining this and will continue to do so. Since May of 2020, G20 countries have reportedly provided more than $10.3 billion in debt reduction through this program, as reported by the World Bank. Unfortunately, the World Bank refused to provide a country-by-country breakdown despite our repeated requests. This is it, everyone. What do you think? Leave a comment and let us know. Thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done that. Also, put on the notifications because the next video is going to be a great one.